everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It is the very first video of 2025, and so let's wrap up what happened at the end of 2024 in the month of December. As I mentioned in my last update before I left on vacation, I said that I was kind of tired of reading. I was kind of taking a break from reading, and that rang true. I only read one book in December, and that was the book of 異類婚姻譚 by Motoya Yukiko. This has been translated as a collection of short stories called The Lonesome Bodybuilder. And I have to say this was a great way to finish off 2024. A, because I read yet another book in Japanese, and also because I just really love this. I was kind of obsessed with this. It was everything that I enjoy about current Japanese literature, especially when it comes to female authors talking about female issues in modern Japanese society. So what is this about? Well, there are 4 stories in this book, with the title story being the primary story. Because this private story was the winner of the Akutagawa Prize, the Akutagawa Literature Prize, which is the big Japanese literary prize that I talk about all the time, that by now, if you follow my channel, you know that I adore. So that was the winner of that prize, and that was definitely the top story in this little collection, and I just absolutely loved it. So in the English translation, it's called An Exotic Marriage. The exact direct translation of this title is sort of a tale of a marriage between 2 species, because what the story is about this woman who sort of kind of just notices one day that her and her husband are starting to sort of look alike. They're starting to sort of like meld together. It's very much along the lines of the saying that people start to look like their partners after long years of being together. And it starts to really bother her, and she brings us along this story, which is really just her living day to day and just observing her husband. And the frustration that I felt reading this short story was just, I don't have a husband, but if I did, like, I would want to kill him. Like, I want to kill my imaginary husband because of this woman, because the man in the story is just despicable. He is just everything that you just kind of want to, strangle. And the thing that's so wonderful about the story is that it's the writing, it's the way that the author is just genius at portraying the frustration and the feeling of just like almost embarrassment at this man that you're connected to, and just not knowing what to do with them. And the thing is that she writes in this super powerful way, and she uses magical realism to explain her in the most it's just so good. It is so good. But seriously, the frustration she feels is just disgusting. There's a scene where, after I read it, first I cackled because it was so good. But also after I read it, I put the book down for like weeks, because I was just aghast, absolutely aghast at the husband. So basically they're walking down the street, and her husband decides to spit on the ground, but not even just spit on the ground, but like hawk some phlegm, just hawk that all up, spit it on the ground. And it turns out he spits at the feet of one of their neighbors. And the elderly woman neighbor gets really upset. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, that's disgusting. You need to clean it up and stuff like that. And the husband just kind of does nothing. He just kind of looks at his wife. And his wife is so ashamed that she just squats down, pulls out her handkerchief, and wipes off the phlegm from the concrete floor. And while she's doing this, the author is talking about the heat heat coming from the sky, because it's a really a midday in the middle of the summer. And she's talking about the heat that's emanating from the ground and just having to pick up this phlegm, this nasty phlegm from the ground. And when she stands up and looks up, where's her husband? Waiting in the shade under a tree. I was just, oh my gosh, I was just taken so aback. I was seriously aghast at this husband's behavior. I was just so, oh my gosh. And then the scene, you think it's over, it ends, they leave, and the husband, what does he do? He looks over at her. Does he thank her? Does he apologize? No, he looks over and he says, "You're not looking as pretty as you usually do." I'm telling you, I took weeks off after I read that scene because I was just so taken aback. I was like, how dare you? How could you? You nasty little man. So it's just, oh, the author is just so good at portraying that frustration and her use of magical realism, because the thing is, like, every time she looks at her husband, she feels like there's something shifting in his face. His nose isn't in the same position as it used to be. His eyes are like smaller and beadier, and little by little he almost takes animal features. And so you're dealing with this woman who's really becoming just super confused. And at the same time, she's been talking to another woman who lives in the same building with her, and she often talks to this woman as the woman is, looking over her dog at the little dog park that is there at the apartment building. And this woman is talking about the frustration that her and her husband are having about this cat who just, no matter what kind of training they've been doing, the cat just pees everywhere. There's nothing they can do. It just pees everywhere. And so they've made the decision that they need to let the cat go. And so the story kind of meshes both of these, this concept, this idea of when is it time to let go of a situation that brings you stress, that makes life more difficult for you, that makes life messier for you, when you're no longer in love with that object. What do? So the story just uses all of those elements, creates this wonderful story that is so full of just this emotion that I think many people have felt in their lives, and she does it so well. So this story blew me away. I absolutely loved it. Really, why it won the Akutagawa Prize, very obvious. So good. Now, in the original Japanese book of this, there are 3 other stories. One is called Tomoko's Baumuchen, which is a very famous, I think, German or Austrian dessert that's really popular in Japan. There is another story called The Dogs, and then there's another story called The Straw Husband. So the Dogs and The Straw Husband are included in the English translation of this short story collection. The Tomoko's Baumuchen is not. But that was sort of the weaker story, so I'm okay with that not having been translated. Now, I also haven't read the other stories that are in the English volume of the Lonely Bodybuilder, so I can't vouch for any of those stories. But in any case, for me, I loved the title story, and then I very much loved the story of the straw man, the straw husband, because once again, it's the author using this incredible magical realism to really portray the confusion a wife can go to when she starts to see her husband in a different way, in a different manner. When the person that you married is not the person that you married basically anymore. There's something different. And for me, what happens in that story was really, really incredibly gripping. However, I am going to say the Dogs and then the Baumuchen story are weaker, in the sense that, and even the Straw Man is weaker, I would say. But I think what happens with the story is that even though those are weaker stories, And basically, if I were to read those stories individually, I might not be interested. But I think the collection as a whole really represents the author's style and really represents the theme of just partners, couples, or people who are just dealing with the reality of what it is to be an adult, the reality of when sort of your idea of what your world was going to be starts to crumble, and you see a new side of people that you aren't really happy with, you aren't really satisfied with. So so happy that I finished the year with this book. It was a great way to finish the year, and I would definitely recommend this. So yeah, it's available in English translation, The Lonely Builder, and by Yukiko. So Motoya Yukiko is the name of the author. So I'll put that in the description. But yeah, I really love this. I felt so many things, and the writing was absolutely powerful. I would love to read the other stories that she has written. So I will definitely be looking into that. So I don't know if I said I was going to do a book haul in this video, because originally that was going to be my idea, but the video is long enough with just this, so I'm going to leave the video here. And then either next week will either be my 2024 wrap up, or it'll be the book haul, and then it'll be the wrap up. I haven't really figured it out. But in any case, that's the end of 2024, and I'll see you in my next video where we start discussing 2025, unless I do the wrap up. See, this ending is ruined. The ending of this, I need to practice some more. You know, it's been too long. It's been a month since I've spoken on video. I need to practice. Anyway, let's just end the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.